Have you ever felt drained or disrespected in a relationship? Maybe when a friend keeps borrowing money you'll never see again, or a family member expects you to drop everything whenever they call. These situations highlight the importance of boundaries, the invisible lines that create healthy space in our connections. This guide, How to Create Boundaries for Healthy and Happy Relationships, is your roadmap to building strong, fulfilling relationships. We'll explore what boundaries are and why they matter, and guide you with clear, actionable steps to set them effectively. Come along with us to learn the keys to building relationships that grow, avoiding burnout, and encouraging respect. First things first, you need to understand what healthy boundaries are and why you need to create them, no matter what your status, state, or stage of life. Do you know the feeling when you're constantly giving to your friends, family, or significant other, but your emotional tank just feels empty? Sometimes you text back right away because the thought of someone waiting on a reply stresses you out, or you find yourself saying yes to plans even when you're hella tired. Well, this might be a sign you need some boundaries in your life. Think of boundaries like invisible fences. They're to help you protect your time, energy, and emotions, the essentials of a happy and healthy life. So why exactly are boundaries so important? Imagine your life at a point where everyone respects your needs and wants, a stage where you feel comfortable saying no without feeling guilty. That is the power of boundaries, babe. This creates healthy relationships based on mutual respect, so you can express yourself freely without fear of judgment. On the flip side, without boundaries, things can get messy. You'll feel tired and taken advantage of. Anger can build up, leaving you feeling stuck and unhappy. Boundaries help you create a happy, healthy space for yourself and attract people who will respect you for who you are. Now, moving our focus to the next section, we'll look at what types of boundaries to consider in any relationship. Let's break it down into different types of boundaries to make things easier. First up, we have physical boundaries. This is all about your personal space. Maybe you don't love super close hugs from everyone, or you need some breathing room during conversations. That's okay. You get to decide who gets close to you and when. Next, we have emotional boundaries. This means being okay with your feelings and expressing them healthily. If a friend constantly vents about drama, it's okay to say, "Hey, I care about you, but this negativity is bringing me down. Can we talk about something else?" Boundaries help you protect your emotional well-being. Feeling overwhelmed by constant texts and plans? That's where time boundaries come in. Here, you set limits on your availability. It's okay to say no to plans when you need some me time. You can also set boundaries around how quickly you respond to messages. Nobody expects you to stick to your phone 24/7. Communication is key in any relationship, so communication boundaries are super important. This means respecting each other during conversations. It's okay to disagree, but nobody deserves to be called names or yelled at. You can also set boundaries around certain topics, like if you're not comfortable discussing your ex with a new friend. Social media can be a highlight reel of everyone else's perfect life, but it doesn't have to bring you happiness. This is where social media boundaries come in. You can unfollow accounts that make you feel bad about yourself or limit the time you spend scrolling. These are just a few boundaries that can be tailored to any situation. The important thing is to figure out what makes you feel comfortable and respected, and then communicate those needs. What do you think? What type of boundary is most important and should never be ignored in any case? Tell us down below in the comments. Now let's move on to how you can become a boundary-setting boss without making yourself feel guilty and your relationship disappointed. Setting boundaries might sound scary, but this is you taking control of your happiness. Now, listen up. First, you have to figure out your non-negotiables. What makes you feel good and respected in a relationship? Is it having some alone time after work? Or maybe it's not being pressured to share every detail on social media. Once you're clear on your needs, it's time to communicate them clearly and calmly. Here's the golden rule. Use the I statements. Instead of blaming someone, say things like, "I feel overwhelmed when I have too many plans at once," or "I would appreciate it if you called before dropping by." Boundaries are a two-way street. Be firm and consistent with your limits. Don't feel guilty about prioritizing your well-being. It's okay to politely decline that extra shift if you already have a packed schedule. Stay strong and remind yourself that healthy relationships respect your needs. And on to the next big thing. No doubt, trying, which is the scariest part for many of us. For sure, you would face pushback whenever you tried to set boundaries. But some people don't understand the concept of it, and their ignorance makes many of us feel guilty, even though we have a valid point. So how do you deal with such a situation gracefully, making the other person understand and accept your point? First up, we have the fear of conflict. Many people avoid setting boundaries because they fear it'll lead to conflict. However, conflict can be healthy if it's handled constructively. When setting boundaries, it's essential to communicate assertively but respectfully. Use I statements to express your needs without accusing the other person. For example, instead of saying, "You always ignore me," try saying, "I feel hurt when I'm not listened to." Another common fear is the fear of rejection. You worry that if you set boundaries, the other person will no longer want to be in a relationship with you. However, you must know that setting boundaries is a sign of respect. If someone can't respect your boundaries, they might not be the right person for you. It's better to be alone than to be in a relationship that doesn't honor your needs. Stay solid but polite if someone pushes back against your boundaries. Be patient, as the other person may need some time to get used to your new boundaries. Don't be afraid to ask a therapist for help if you're having trouble setting limits or if you face criticism. They may provide direction and strategies for handling difficult conversations. Setting boundaries isn't always easy, but it's essential for your mental and emotional well-being. Remember, you deserve to be treated with respect and kindness in all your relationships. How do you deal with such a response? Do you cry out, stand up for yourself, or keep quiet? Leave your thoughts here so that others may benefit from seeing how to handle similar situations. So you might be wondering, how exactly do boundaries help you find the right person? Well, picture this. You set a boundary about needing time for yourself and your hobbies. A true friend or partner will respect that and maybe even suggest ways to support your me time. On the other hand, someone who pushes back constantly or makes you feel guilty for needing space probably isn't a great fit. Boundaries are like a filter, attracting people who value your needs and have healthy boundaries of their own. Imagine two magnets with the same poles trying to stick together. It just wouldn't work. Similarly, someone who constantly oversteps boundaries likely won't mesh well with someone who prioritizes healthy communication and respect. Understand that drawing lines shows respect for yourself and is not selfish. By establishing boundaries, you make room for the kinds of connections that uplift and support you rather than exhaust you. So that's it for today. Remember that by clearly communicating your needs and limits, you can build stronger and more fulfilling connections with others. It may take some time and practice, but there should be no compromise on it whatsoever. We hope you found this video helpful in understanding how to set healthy boundaries in your relationships. And ladies, for more tips on personal growth and relationship advice, be sure to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for our next video. Take care, and remember, you and your emotional health matter.